All right, good evening and welcome to another edition of the Big Brain Golf Show. My name's Eric Red and I'm going to be your host tonight, moderator. And this week again, I think I'm going to need to be the enforcer because look at these three. Jesus. Tonight's episode is going to be devoted to the upper body slide move that we have from our guest student this evening. But with no further ado, I'd like to introduce to you our panel of experts. To my right, Mr. Chris Walkie. Chris has been teaching for a long time, 30 plus years. He's known as one of the finest instructors in the country. Been fortunate to work with a number of PGA and LPGA Tour professionals, and he's the inventor of this beautiful device, the Power Package. Everybody needs to get one of those. Next to him.
Can they use my promo code?
Yes.
Okay.
Promo code 55% off tonight.
Wait.
That's right. Don't worry, he'll jack it up 55%.
First set of business real quick.
Exactly. Next to him, Mr. Tony Greco. Tony's from Bighorn, Bear Creek Golf Club up in Murrieta. Works with Tom Pernice Jr. and a number of other great junior and collegiate players. And always a pleasure to have him with us here in the desert.
Great to be here again.
All right. And next to him, Mr. Dave Curtis, PGA teaching professional from Western Mission Hills Resort and the Classic Club. Dave's a very experienced player here in the desert chapter, in the section, Southern Cal PGA chapter, and a real honor to have him with us here tonight. So,
Nice being here.
all right. Our guest student this evening is Ruben, and he's from up in the Temecula Riverside area. He's been playing 3 years, and he's got a 16 handicap. Only about 90 days of practice per year and about 20 rounds. So he's got a young family and still a very active career. So his typical misses are block right or hooks and pulls. And like everybody else, he'd love to find the center of the club face and be able to confidently play with all the clubs in his bag. So, gentlemen, are you ready to roll?
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, obviously a good athlete. He says he comes from a basketball background, so obviously a good athlete. But I've found basketball, football, if they don't grow up playing hitting sports or swinging sports, throwing sports, the sequence can get a little off at times. The topic is upper body slide, but once again, I think why does the body slide, right? Why does everything slide? It's a pretty good spot, but I just think his club gets pretty out of balance, gets a little behind him, or really behind him early, so then it kind of crosses the line to the top, and then as everybody knows when it crosses if you're not really talented and it comes down a little steep, you kind of have to slide it to get that mass of the club or the center mass or the sweet spot back inside inside the line to hit from the inside.
Yeah, you see most people get the club across the line at the top. They move with the head forward
right,
to actually get the golf club to come back behind them. Otherwise, it's going to stick it straight in the ground. So,
If I had to step up in here, it looks like he's got a pretty strong grip too.
Right.
Which it's fine if you manage it, but it looks like it starts this direction. So as he starts kind of taking it back, everything's kind of peeling this way. So it's really kind of shut. The club's out of balance. And then, that may cause him to go a little bit more there, but I can just see how it's getting to a place that's shut and across the line. Which shut and cross the line is a very, very difficult place to recover from. So if it's shut and it's going across the line, he's doing his darndest to not hit this thing behind him or hit it over here. So he's doing all he can to slide and get that club to get back shallow, and that's why he struggles with gigantic hooks. I think if he could learn how to kind of get that club motion a little bit better here, get the face a little bit better, he won't react so much to that. He'll come down a little bit. He won't slide as much because that club will come down a little bit more on plane, and then he can jump through.
do you think he would change his grip to?
I don't necessarily think I'd change his grip. I think he could. I think no matter what matchups wise in grip, even if he's super strong, he could still. It's okay to even have a little extension and have
A little bit of an opener.
A little bit of an opener because that face is pretty square. Now, if you had a weak grip and you had extension, well, now the face is wide open. So I don't think you necessarily have to change the grip, but I think he needs to kind of change the start and understand that that's okay. Here's the other thing, you know, he probably studies a lot of golf. Everybody says, oh, you gotta have a flat left wrist, you gotta have a flat left wrist, you gotta have a flat left wrist.
For him.
Not for him.
Not for him. Not with a
Not with a really, really
strong,
strong
close club face grip. Right.
Correct.
Right. Not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Yeah.
Cool.
That was really good. I understood all that.
But Ruben, you look good, man. Couple little
Yeah,
deals
he-
like these guys are saying, and
Yeah, if he has a plan,
yeah.
you know, he could do a lot of good stuff. I like his action.
Yeah.
100%.
Then
And
consistent.
he doesn't even have the time. He's up.
Right.
So many other people have, right?
Yeah.
So he's doing great for the amount of time he's able to really
100%.
focus to playing
Yeah.
and practicing.
When he said, like, mentioned, 150 yards and in consistency, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just a little club face awareness.
For sure.
And we kind of always go to that route of face and path relation
Right.
to be a little bit,
100%.
to throw darts.
Yeah.
So, absolutely.
And I think one thing that I saw when I watched it too is that when I looked at it in full motion, you know, not slowing it down and just watching it swing, I noticed there wasn't really a lot of swing to the club. It looked like he moves the club.
Yeah.
If he could learn how to have some softness and let the club actually swing and hinge a little bit, the club probably be a lot more in line at the top.
It's
And then he doesn't have to make those compensations.
slightly across. It's not really bad across the line. You
But
know,
he's
and
fight, yeah,
he's
but it's a
fighting,
bit shut. And he's fighting it to get it back online in the downswing, and the face is shut, so he's kind of manipulates the club through the bottom. Without all that happening at the bottom with his hands, I mean, the ball can kind of go anywhere. And he kind of said that in his bio, right? I get all the shots, right? So, but just looking at it from a swing perspective, it doesn't have a lot of softness to it.
Right.
He moves the club through every position, and even the finish is kind of, it's like he's holding on to it too tight through the whole swing, to me. That's what I see, so.
And I'll jump in real quick one more time. A lot of players.
Just jump right ahead of me again.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump right ahead.
Dang. Every time.
Tootsies.
People that have really strong grips have a tendency, you know, if it's pretty darn strong, it's in a very closed position, right?
Yep.
So it's in a left position for a right-hander. So they end up starting to push their hands forward
100%.
to make that club
Face it
look
square.
square, right? But all the while, that club is, as it starts to travel back, is definitely going to beat the hands, get really inside and behind them,
Because it's already
Just-
pre. It's already,
it's already preset to already do
It's already
that.
pre-rotated. He's
pre-rotated.
got no chance to keep it outside.
Correct.
the side. Yeah.
So, you know, if you brought that back a little bit and said, okay, now there's your face, right? And now it has a chance where that club can actually start to swing a little bit easier.
So if you take what, you know, if I, this is listening to everybody, so I'm not jumping over anybody, but
No,
you take,
you're
no,
really
I'm just
smart
serious.
too,
No, but
you know?
if you take what Dave said, and you take what you said, and what Trevor said, you know, he needs some life in the club, right? And he needs his body kind of being a little bit more dynamic, so that the whole thing kind of flows. You know, I think, you know, doing some stuff where that club started forward, you know, him getting some life here, and all of a sudden his body shifts a little better, the club stays more, you know, just to get him started, right? You know, he's got to start somewhere where that club goes more, and it swings up here, and all of a sudden he can lay back, it's softer there. Then all of a sudden he does have that, you know, a little bit of transfer there where this stays back, and I think you can get some life to it. And then you kind of say, hey, well, you know, now you got some pretty good lines, and now you're hooking the crap out of it. Maybe that's when you can lead into down the road changing the grip, you know.
Right.
I hate changing grips. The last thing I want to change.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
you know, I always use the grip as a. It kind of accommodates the grip, and the setup kind of accommodates what I'm trying to do with the golf swing. So, but the grips are the tough ones. You change that right off the bat, you lose control. So.
And just to point again, you know, he obviously looks like he extends quite a bit. He stands up quite a bit through the shot, right? From the down the line perspective.
He's
right?
waiting for it, right? He's got to wait for it. And
He's got to wait for
Right.
it, and that's why it kind of early releases. He's standing, right?
He's so
But-
far that
Yeah,
way.
but-
How is he?
Correct, but once again, that's the club's balance. That's the club not. It's controlling what his body has to do to
His
somehow make
body's
contact
reacting to the club.
to the club.
100%.
yeah, for sure.
You know, is it? And you can see it looks like a 3/4-ish swing there, but I guarantee you that guy gets a driver in his hand. It's, you know, right now it's heading across the line. Right with the driver in his hand, it is across the line. You know, and then that's when things really become difficult with the longer club.
You know, you look at you know, people can say, hey, there's a tour player like Raymond Floyd used to kind of roll it, but I mean, you know, those guys were so talented. Sometimes you can't look at what guys did.
The outliers, right?
Yeah, they're the outliers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
sure.
You know, I think the higher handicap or the mid handicaps, they've actually got to swing at it better because they play once a week. You know, they got to have some pretty good lines, good club face conditions. You know, and they won't have to fight so hard. So.
Yeah, but even Raymond Floyd sucked it inside. It was kind of laid off. It's kind of in a decent little
Yeah,
position.
just,
Right.
yeah, kind of the funky
Right.
action. Yeah. But I tell you what, though, as he got older, he couldn't do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
He quit pretty early. I think he started hitting some shanks and stuff that, you know, all of a sudden, bingo, his career was.
Yeah.
He didn't do much on the senior tour. You
No.
know. Yeah.
Correct.
I didn't know that.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe
Yeah.
he'll come and get me.
Jesus.
Just count. He was just counting money.
That guy was awesome.
He was.
Jesus,
He
he
was
was awesome.
He was so tough, wasn't he?
Oh, man.
Oh,
Tough
my
as
God.
nails.
Man, oh,
Yeah.
man. He invented the fist pump. He
He
did.
did.
He
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Jesus, there was nobody fist pumped like
Those
Raymond
steely
Floyd.
eyes, he would stare at you.
Jesus.
Huh?
Oh, and he always wore the visors. He would just
Yeah.
give it that.
Mhm.
You know, he gave it that little tip,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
Well, it was like he was squeezing it like
Right. Squeezing the sweat out of it.
exactly. He was the best. Let's summarize. Let's do a quick summary on short term, long term.
I think half swings to start off
Half
with.
swings, yeah.
You know, he's almost one of those guys that, you know, if he likes to practice, he's truly into what he wants to do, and it may not be a bad time to tidy up that grip a little
Tidy-
bit. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
right,
You
for
just,
sure.
you know, tidy up the grip a little bit because it gets pretty severe there.
Mhm.
You know, if he doesn't change that, all the stuff he's trying to do, like you said, you know, he starts it there. It's already pre-rotated here, right?
Mhm.
You know, Nick. You know, people can say, oh, you know, the outliers, hey, they got the grip strong and you can fight around it. But I think in his case, cleaning up the grip, half swings, you know, learning to match up the face with his body and getting it on plane, all of a sudden he's going to free him up. But that's just, you know.
So in closing, we'd like to again thank our friends here at the Club Fix in Palm Desert for their hospitality here at their great facility. I'd like to thank all our golf professionals. You definitely came through with some brainiac thoughts and moves. I'd like to thank our sponsors, 59 Belts and the Power Package. Make sure you subscribe to our Big Brain Golf Show channel, and make sure you catch us on Twitter and Instagram. So until next time, we'll look forward to seeing you for our next great topic. Thanks a lot.